Hey there, good people. It's a Crippled Critic, and this week I wanted to follow up on that promise I did about making a video showing you how I play Xenoverse with third-party programs. And the program that I'm going to be using today is called XMouse Button Control. I've used other programs uh, like Key Remapper, but today I'm gonna be showing you how to use X mouse button control. Just so you know, guys, I may not be using the correct technical term when it comes to macros. I just know that macros are a set of instructions that lead to other instructions that perform a task, and that's one thing that this program can do. So let's get into it, and I'll show you how I play Xenoverse. Um, This program allows you to make multiple profiles with many different commands that you choose and customize. As you can see, I have one for each game I play, and sometimes multiple for the same game. Um, but for Xenoverse 2, this is the one I mainly use. I do want to say that X mouse button control is a free program online. I'll put a link to it in the description down below. You don't have to register or anything, it's completely free. Uh, it does recommend that you have a mouse that has at least 5 buttons. I have a gaming mouse with that many, so I'm okay. And you can still use this program if you don't have a mouse with that many buttons, but it's just recommended so you can make the most out of the program. Alright, so the left button on the mouse, I don't have anything mapped to it here, but in the game, I have it changed so that the left mouse button is weak attack, um, and that's pretty easy just to spam that move by clicking the left click. But funny enough, I don't have any button on the mouse for the strong attack, but I make do with the left button for the weak attack, and we'll get to the super moves and ultimate moves later, but I've never had to use a strong attack. The right button is actually going to be getting into movement in the camera. Um, the good thing about Xenoverse 2 is that the camera sensitivity is really high, so I don't have to, worry about remapping each direction. I just move the mouse in the direction I want to go. But in order to move forward, I have the right mouse button set to W WASD as the directional keyboard buttons, but I have W mapped to the right button. And right here, if you click the cog to icon right next to it, you can also customize it in other ways. I have it so the button will be held down. This helps me when I'm fighting in Xenoverse 2 because when you have forward held down automatically while I'm fighting, my main character will drift towards the person I'm locked on to, so it helps a lot. As you can see down here, there are other ways you can customize things, not just how much you hold it down, but also uh, you can combine buttons. I don't have anything for the middle button because I physically just can't press it with my mobility. Um, the scroll wheel, let me go down to the scroll wheel. So, I actually have wheel up. That button is wheel up is pretty simple. I have it for interact. Um, and also one of the super moves. Wheel down, I have mapped to Alt on the keyboard, and that's lock on in the game. So then we get into more complicated remapping and more complicated commands. These have to do with being able to tilt the mouse wheel to the left or right, also acting as different buttons. So for tilting right on the scroll wheel, I have it mapped to F, and F opens up your super moves, your ultimate moves. Well, it opens up your moves in order to use them. Now tilting to the left, I have a very complicated or fairly complicated um, macro going on for tilting the scroll wheel left. So, like I said, I'm not able to use the keyboard in any way, and even though I don't need to move in or use the directional buttons when I'm fighting or when I'm exploring in the game, menus still require you to use the directional buttons. And sometimes it just depends on the menu. So I have this set to D, which is down. Um, no, my mistake. It's slightly confusing. D is down on the menu direction, but I also have a delay. If you look right here, it says wait MS 100, and what that means is it makes this command wait for 100 milliseconds before it does its next command. So I actually have two things going on at once, but they don't interfere because of the delay. The reason I have the down directional key button and the letter D is that in order to descend in the air, you have to press down on the arrow buttons, and this is essential for certain parallel quests, specifically the Dragon Ball collecting quests. Um, in order to find Dragon Balls in the water, you have to be able to descend in the air. So it took a few tries, but I was able to make it work with this delay. I have escape mapped to, it's called mouse button 5. It's a button on the left side of my mouse, and it's pretty self-explanatory. I can use it to get out of any menu. Lastly, it's mouse button 4, which also has multiple functions for one button. I have it set to press PGDN, which at least in my controls for Xenoverse 2 allows you to look at the map. And I have a delay to press tab and also switch layers, which I'll get to in a minute. I'm trying to remember what tab does in Xenoverse 2. I think it's a specific thing within a menu. It's not even for combat, but I think it's just something that you will occasionally need to press. But now I can finally get to switching layers, which really gives you the ability to add even more buttons and commands. You have to have this. It has to have these brackets next to on either end when you're making a command. Although when it comes to just single letters, I've found that it's better not to have brackets. But when you're dealing with like a command or like two buttons combined or like a delay, you need to have brackets next to each one of them, and you can do that by clicking this or just typing it. But if you have layer : next or layer colon previous, uh, it'll switch layers. What that does is just open up the exact same buttons for your mouse, but just, doubles it. So, as you can see, you can keep them the same as the first layer if you want. Um, but I also have a different function. If you're going to be able to switch, or if you want to have a second layer, just remember that when you switch, always have a way to switch back. Um, as you can see, make sure it says this layer back, not previous, but layer back, just so there are no issues with commands interfering with each other. So there you have it. It took a long time to get it just how I wanted, but once I did, it made things so much easier. So there you guys go. I hope you enjoyed learning about this program. I hope it helped some people. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, I will see you later.